Welcome again, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday and time for your favorite breakfast show that brings you nothing but pure entertainment.
Now, I tell you this for free. A dose of Wake Up Nigeria is the best way to start your day every morning.
Yes, indeed. Now, of course, I mean, it's 6 a.m. and when we do have, come here and, we just want to ensure that you have a great start to your morning. But you have to start, you have to do, whatever you can to have a great morning.
Yeah, it might be
one of the things,
have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Might be just put on your TV and wait for us to start the show.
I think I should have my coffee somewhere around here. But anyway, good morning again from wherever you're watching us. My name is Yomi Owope.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinsan. We're really excited that you're going to be spending almost 3 hours with us. And we're going to be spending it with you too, as long as you stream live. That's tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook Live at TVC Connect. Yeah. Those comments that you send in every day?
Yeah, yes. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. And, you can also download our mobile app. It's worked in many different areas of Lagos. So,
sometimes. Not
everywhere, but, some areas are pretty wet. Yeah. So, very important. Just...
make sure you stick with us. We'll be giving you some...
Yeah, keep a low profile when you're out there. Don't be too aggressive on the road.
How was your journey to the office today? There's something that's been creeping up your spine this morning.
It's fine. It's fine. Not too aggressive. Just be calm.
Mary is reading a book in the kitchen. We
out me.
Yeah, of course.
We had to out you.
Reading a book in the kitchen.
Can you show us the book? Just show us
the book.
Okay, so this is it. This is what we're talking about today. Catching Grace.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I was gonna skim through, but after the first 2 chapters, I couldn't stop.
Wow.
And I'm almost through. See?
Amazing.
Just a little left.
Stop.
Nice one, nice one.
Book chat happens every Thursday, something a lot of people look forward to.
Yeah.
But let's tell people what else is happening on the show today.
Yeah.
Ben, for our first musical performance of the day, Mr. Peak, an Afro-fusion artist from Edo State. He's going to be here doing his thing.
This is perfect haircut. We also have another performance coming from Afro-pop and R&B singer, producer, Kohli.
And on Tech today, we'll be joined by Ken Ndubisi. Now, he's going to be talking about social media advertising for small businesses. You might want to stick around for that, especially if you're an SME.
Yeah, you should. Also, we have something special coming as Jackie Idimogu will be joining us to shed some light on animal cruelty and why this needs to stop. I think that's really, really important. An important topic for us to talk about this morning.
Now, we did mention book chat earlier. Yes, today we have Lydia Emmanuel. She'll be reviewing a book, We'll be reviewing her book.
Yeah.
Called Catching Grace.
Catching Grace.
And apparently, Mary hasn't been able to put it down.
Wow.
It's a really good book. Really good book.
And then we have
Mongol Akbu.
Yes. For art display. This is interesting. She uses art to promote environmental preservation. Wow.
A lot of messages in those pieces.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's what art is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed.
About expression. There's so many types of art. And now I'm thinking tech is actually a kind of art now.
Yeah. Cooking
in a way.
Cooking even is a kind of art.
Before Steve Jobs came back to Apple, people had always wondered how people, the generality of the population could connect with tech, especially women and even children. But when Steve Jobs came in, he then began to fuse art and tech, so
and that was actually
to make it more interesting and more appealing.
Yeah.
So, and they started putting color in a computer, so you would see aqua blue, orange, pink, and things like that. So people started getting interested. Okay, I think I'd like to have a laptop.
Even the shape and the style of some pieces of tech now, sometimes it's just like an accessory. And they've fused accessories with tech now. The watches, they're getting more and more fashionable.
Even the chips that you insert in your body as well.
Wow, you went there.
Yeah, there's some technology being worked on. You insert chips in your hand and you can just...
So there are actually all those... You remember what they used to tell us when we were a lot younger now? That one day they'll be using barcode to identify people and all that. You know, there was that...
Yeah, we thought it was... we thought that people were reaching, but now that's the reality. That's what's happening.
Yeah, even on your complimentary card now, people, if you just scan a barcode with your phone, literally you can get all the information you want out there in seconds.
I heard really that in the next 50 years, we're going to have something called the tattoo generation.
Wow. So
what that means is anyone below the age of 25 would have some form of tattoo or the other that identifies you.
Kidding me?
Yes,
that identifies you?
Yeah, so you have a tattoo, like there would be...
scary.
That humans would become bionic. You get, because for you to live longer, maybe have a healthy heart and all of that, you would have to have, like machines fused into your body. So
there's so much happening in the atmosphere that is polluting this world right now. I don't know how I feel about having tech inside me, though. I don't know.
Your kids are probably going to have...
There are so many things going on.
The news is up next.
All right. And now 314 Nigerians who no longer feel safe in South Africa are back in Nigeria. The plane touched down in Lagos at 7:40 p.m. yesterday, Wednesday. Now, this makes it the second batch of Nigerians who have returned from the Rainbow Nation. They have more in this report.
After the long wait, more than 300 returnees from South Africa have arrived. Journalists were not allowed into the arrival point for security reasons. They were subsequently brought to the narco section for verification. Chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewan, glowingly spoke of government's plans for the returnees.
On the part of the government, you receive them with money to help them survive for a few days. Bank of Industry will give them the number. They also call, they get soft loans, and the state governors, are expected to now work on complete rehabilitation and reintegration. There will be medicals here. We have a team of doctors who have volunteered. We have counselors here. We have also trainers who says they want to do a needs assessment.
CEO of Air Peace, Ale Onyema, says this gesture has brought respect to Nigeria.
Nigeria is now being respected all over the world because of this singular act. That all over the world, people are talking about this evacuation. So for once, Nigeria rose up to the act to be respected. The thing is this, it's not about Air Peace and us, it's all about nationhood.
We spoke with some evacuees on their ordeal in South Africa.
It's nothing to write home about. It's so bad and awful. Actually, they don't like foreigners, more especially the Nigerians. No matter how hard you tried, they will never like you.
Yeah, I think the government, both governments of South Africa and Nigeria, they should come together to see how they can, foster their diplomatic ties. Because Nigeria, there right now, they are really in a tight corner.
187 Nigerians were previously evacuated from South Africa as a result of the xenophobic attacks. This now makes the total number of persons evacuated so far to 501, but more still willing to come.
Wow. Now, hundreds of women took to the streets in Port Harcourt, Rivers State in a peaceful protest against the recent killings of women in hotels. When they got to the State Police Command, they got to know that 3 suspects have been arrested. Uche Okoro has details.
A coalition of several civil society groups, voluntary organizations, and female professional associations participated in this protest. They are out to register their grievances against the killing of several young women in different parts of the state. These murders have all occurred in hotels and appeared to have followed the same pattern in the last 2 months. Their first point of call was the Rivers State Government House.
We're here to protest the fact that we are losing our mothers, we're losing our daughters, we're losing our sisters, we're losing our wives. It is starting with women in Rivers State. It can move to anybody. We are concerned because it appears to us that no action has been taken.
We cannot fold our hands and see our sisters die. We cannot fold our hands and see our mothers die. We cannot fold our hands and see our brothers die. So it's not about women, it's about humans. We are saying that nobody has the right to take anybody's life.
Identity of the victims has also emerged as a controversial subject. These protesters have rejected suggestions that they were sex workers and thus put themselves in harm's way.
Your sin, in quotes, does not justify killing. Yes. Assuming but not considering that they are Ron's girls, yes. Does that justify anybody taking their lives?
On this issue of our daughters, I want to assure you, the governor is not sleeping on it. The governor is doing something on it. All of us, we are concerned. I have sisters, I have daughters. So please, I want you to know we are doing something about it.
The police in Rivers State has confirmed that so far, 8 women have been killed in different hotels across the state. Now that figure is contrary to those making the rounds on social media. The police has also confirmed that indeed these killings are the work of a serial killer and that it is very much on top of the situation. The women also marched to the state police command.
The total number of 3 suspects so far arrested. Earlier on, we announced yesterday that 2 were arrested and they are undergoing interrogation. Then this morning, we recorded another one. He's here with us. I just finished interviewing him, and the investigation continues.
The State House of Assembly and the Department of State Services, DSS.
DSS, do your work! DSS, do your work! DSS, do your work!
Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. The weather update is next, and after that, sports with Mary.
Good morning and thank you for staying tuned. It is time for Lagos traffic update on Wake Up Nigeria. Now, if this is your first time, please note that you can always be a part of this segment by sending a message on Instagram, on Facebook, even on Twitter using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC to let us know what your traffic situation is and perhaps take a traffic selfie. That's if you're not behind the wheels though. Okay, so we're going to start this morning with Oron-Shoki to Obalende. Yeah, that's my favorite startup route. And that's because there are a lot of people who work on the island coming from the mainland, and that's the most popular route to get there. Okay, so we'll take a look at what the Third Mainland Bridge is right now. I am very sorry to announce that there is no spot on the Third Mainland Bridge that is traffic-free today. Surprisingly, though, it will take you lesser, a lesser period of time to get to Obalende than you would when we have a freeway and just a bit of traffic, as we think. Because as it is, it will take you less than an hour to go from Oron-Shoki to Obalende this morning. Starting off from Oru, there are just pockets of traffic, a bit of freeway. But as soon as you get on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, there's no escaping it. The traffic is light, so it's a good thing. And it's mostly light. In fact, it goes on and on, just being light until you are approaching the Adekunle axis. That's where the traffic actually, the gridlock begins. So it becomes bumper to fender all the way from there till you get to Obalende. Yeah, that's the way it is this morning. But it seems to me that the bumper to fender traffic isn't so bad. The gridlock is a bit light, I guess. Or at least it's those types that seem like they're not moving, but then they're kind of like moving at a very slow pace. So prepare yourself for traffic this morning on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. But it's not traffic that will take you forever to get to your destination, all right? Okay, moving on from there, we're going to take a look at Ile-Epo bus stop. Ile-Epo bus stop all the way to Oshodi. Now, from what I can see here, if you're just stepping out of home, if you live around the Ile-Epo axis, you're not going to do too badly. It will take you just about 57 minutes to get to your destination. That's to get to Oshodi Bridge, okay? So here's what you need to know. As you step out of Ile-Epo bus stop, there's light traffic. It's not so bad, just keep that in mind. Freeway, light traffic, just pockets of traffic here and there. However, when you're approaching Iyana-Okpaja, the traffic gridlock begins and it's bumper to fender. In fact, it continues that way till you get to the bridge. Now, when you get to the bridge, there's still a bit of traffic, bumper to fender traffic, but when you pass the bridge for like a minute or two, yeah, from what I can see here, the traffic eases out, so it's lighter traffic, and it goes on like that till you are approaching the GIG transports there, and then from there, it's a freeway. I mean, you need not worry. Through Yano, all those places, freeway. However, when you're approaching Dokpemu, the traffic becomes light, yeah. So it builds up a bit, but it's very light traffic, so there's nothing to worry about. However, as soon as you pass the Dokpemu Bridge, it becomes a freeway, and it seems like, oh, nothing could ever go wrong until you get to Mangoro. Approaching Idi-Mangoro, that's where you experience light traffic, then it becomes bumper to fender traffic for about 3 minutes, okay? So going from Mangoro to Oshodi is going to take you 40 minutes. So that's where the meat of the traffic is. So from there, of course, you find pockets of traffic here and there until you get to Ile-Zik, where the freeway ends completely. And from Ile-Zik, as usual, it's bumper to fender. In fact, it goes all the way through Ikeja along, all the way through National Bus Stop until you're approaching the bridge. That's the Ikeja Bridge. And then while approaching there, it's light traffic. But as soon as you get under the bridge, free-flowing, deceptively so, because even before you get to airports, the airport bus stop, there's light traffic. But as soon as you pass the airport bus stop, it's free-flowing, amazingly so, until you get to the arena. At the arena is where you experience light traffic, and then, of course, bumper-to-fender traffic until you get to the Oshodi Bridge, okay? So that's another place to consider. Now, I'm going to take a look at another routes, but before then, I wonder if the guys have tweets for me. Hi, guys.
Yeah, just a couple of tweets.
There's one here on Traffic Button. It says, kudos to the last mile officer on duty at National. Today he's doing a wonderful job. National Inward Ikeja inside is free.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
Yeah, then some time ago we had the Lagos-Abeokuta Express Road from Dokpemu Under Bridge. It was free, but that was about 40 minutes ago. But it's getting busy now, so of course, and it's also raining in some parts of Lagos, so you need to be careful along those axes. So the Lagos-Abeokuta Expressway, and then leaving Lagos as well, the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway as well, quite busy going out of Lagos this morning. From Bega, if you're coming in from Bega, it's fine, it's free up until you get to Ojota. That's if you're doing good route. So it's busy at Ojota bus stop right now, quite heavy. That's what we have here from the table. I don't know if Mike's got something for us.
Do you have
No, well, I was just going, what was making me smile, you know, the rains, a number of people have been complaining about the rains.
Yeah.
And the road yesterday was really very terrible. I know there's quite a lot of construction work going on in Lagos roads at this point in time, quite a lot. So in a number of places, dry season would be the best to walk on roads, yeah? But then, at whatever time, if we can do that, the issue is that most of these roads, maybe the first layer, they're putting in sand, and so that sand is being mashed up with the rain and all that, and it's causing problems.
Okay, so, you know, there is that debate of whether it's best to do it during the dry season or wet season, because it's during the wet season that you know where the major problems are. You know, sometimes in dry season, you just can't tell. If
all right, you know what, guys? You continue the conversation so I can, I can join you guys. But quickly, you might want to consider the Maryland to CMS route, okay, instead of the 3rd Mainland Bridge, because apparently that would take you just about 40 minutes. So that's a very good option. All right, guys, I'm on my way.
All right, we're standing by for you, dear. We're standing
by.
by.
Thanks, Mary. Wow, so, Mike, Abba Kyari is trending again. I just saw it.
Baba, he's the man we need. Jack Bauer of Nigeria.
Maybe they should just bring him to Port Harcourt.
We need that guy, man.
Come and resolve this matter of the girls.
Okay, so we quite a lot of, when it comes to movies and all that, we've seen how intelligence works, right? Intelligence when it comes to crime solving and all of that. Now, a particular video was released, the latest one in the saga, right, of a man who took a lady into a hotel and came out without her, and then she was found dead. Now, if it gets to the point whereby, from what we know, police will try to do what they can first. If they can't, then you release probably a mug, okay, I don't want to say mug shot here, but you profile him, a profile picture. After you've identified him from the sub, you don't release the original tape for public consumption. You understand? Because if perchance you've gone to check for him, or you've tried and you're unable to get him, then you release his shot and say, okay, wherever you are, if you've seen this person, report or do something and all of that. Releasing the exact thing as it is. And we know how these things are. Baba goes under, it's going to be a problem, major problem.
That's very true. Or if he leaves the state.
Yeah.
If he leaves the state, that's another challenge, because once he leaves, and you couldn't really identify him in the first place. Exactly. He probably can live anywhere else. He can move to Enugu or
the issue with profiling is sometimes is very accurate. However, there are like 10 people who probably look like that profile. And I guess that's one of the reasons why several serial killers in history were never found, because there's always that issue of profiling that goes wrong, or somebody else gets convicted wrongly. However, just a minute here. However, it's important as well for us as females, and not just females, because you'll be amazed that this thing might spill over to the opposite sex as well. You never know what these guys are up to. And it's important to turn on your location when you're going out with somebody. If you're on your own, it's even advisable now to turn on your location. And there are several apps that allow your friends
and family
to
know where you are.
To actually trace you. Yes, so those kind of apps, perhaps you could install them on your phone, so it's easier for them to know who is with you or whatever is going on. I know it can be very difficult, though.
So what I was actually going to say in regards to the investigative aspect of it, a lot of it's been said in many a mystery movie, mystery series, that in cases of serial killers, they actually like the spotlight.
Yes,
they actually
they do.
They actually feed off it, and I think that's an issue that a lot of people are not thinking about. But as for him going under, it's also said that they don't really go under.
They don't go under. They're waiting for their next attack.
Yeah, and they see it as a challenge. So there are a lot of things they really have to tread carefully. And, when it comes to intelligence, they need to really keep some things to themselves. That video, to me, shouldn't have come out.
It wasn't even the police that released it. It was an amateur recording. So somebody goes to the CCTV,
and
put
just
it on the system,
videos it.
and just see him and it's talking and all of that, and it goes out. Now the point is, whenever you go, whenever somewhere is a crime scene, it's locked out. All the material that is there is handled or seized by the police, so that even the hotel staff do not have access to it. For the fact that somebody got that thing and put it out, it could have been, someone could have doctored it. If you have somebody who is good, a person could doctor it and put out something else there, cut some parts and put some part and over, and you get somebody previous and it goes out. So the point is that it wasn't the police. it was an amateur recording, and that is a loophole.
So in some cases, those things actually help. A girl can see it and be like, oh, this guy who is asking me out looks like this person in the CCTV.
Understood.
So on the other hand, it also helps. In fact, there's some crime investigation stuff you watch, as in real life, not the fiction, that you find out that those things have actually helped save lives. Just like an
if there's a modus operandi that the person uses, maybe he has a way of cultivating people online and things like that. And there's a suspicion that, okay, this guy that is chatting with me online is probably the guy, you know, that kind of a thing. So that's
I was actually going to go there.
Yeah.
I was going to go there. Social media contacts and acquaintances, I'm not going to call them friends. In the end, that's what they are, acquaintances. You're just acquainted with the fact that this person exists. But going to meet people at random, going to gatherings, being invited to events that are not verified, you know, invited to places you've never been before. Please, it's not every party you have to go to. It's not every meeting you have to go for at a particular time of the day. Even if it seems like, oh, you're not cool, or Jassy, or you're a JJC.
You know the problem with this thing you just said? There are some girls that don't even go out. It might be just that one decision that, okay, I really like this guy. Everybody knows I don't go. Okay, let me just go this once.
For the first time,
So the thing is, these things don't really, they are not really framed in a particular way. A crazy person is a crazy person. When a person is insane, the person just needs help. Whoever is doing this is sitting down somewhere with a cup of coffee, watching and laughing and say, oh, you guys are going to get me.
They did make some arrests, so they'll confirm, I mean, by today, tomorrow, to see if those guys are actually the culprits. If it's the work of one guy or several people or a gang. Sometimes it could be a gang of people. Anyway, so Mike was talking about the floods earlier, and you know, there's been some pictures online about the flooding. Like, you would wonder if this is the same city you're in.
So what happened?
People are 3 feet, 4 feet in water, deep in water, in their own houses.
The one that frightens me the most is when you see a situation where a car, for example, like you know it is not your normal car. You're talking about an SUV, and you cannot even, you can only see, you know the frame on top, the one you can tie your luggages on. That's the only thing you can see, and not even clearly, just a speck. And you be like, how did the humans there survive?
So at a point, we need to understand that this is a serious health hazard. The mosquitoes, the frogs, the parasites in the water, there's so many things. The fact that your electrical points in your houses are being exposed to moisture, there's just so much going on. Everybody needs to just be really, really careful at this point in time.
People need to be careful out there during this rainy season. Because the forecast is that it's going to continue for a while. So just be careful.
Thunder even fired coconut tree.
And look for your friends living on hills so you can have
Mike said thunder-fired coconut tree.
I will talk about it later. Go fire
Let's take this break, please. Welcome back. Now, Yums, it feels kind of like a Friday, right?
No, it doesn't.
Does it feel like a Friday?
No, it does not.
Well, we're all dressed down.
The amount of work that I have to do today.
It's not Friday yet.
Yeah, it's not Friday. But, I mean, welcome back to the second hour. That first hour went by so quickly. In fact, you know, so many birthday shout-outs. We almost didn't have time for that performance.
Yes, indeed.
From Mr. Peak, where he's really good. Nice performance there. And,
I hope he's still around.
Yeah, nice performance and also production as well.
Okay, so yes, we've had music so far. We've had birthday shout-outs, and we've had some interesting conversation. You should check it out online. Speaking of online, How's your show been so far? You know, how's your morning been so far? Hopefully it's been great. Even if it hasn't been great yet, it's gonna get better. So
yes, indeed.
Share it with us. Stay online with us.
Gonna get better. There's a song, there's a lovely song I like.
What?
It's called Better.
Okay.
It's a song, it's a motivational song.
Okay,
Very
better.
important.
So not better, but better. Yes, I went there. But
You go better.
We are online streaming live right now. You need to share this experience with us. It's you, our awesome viewers, that we do this for.
Yeah, that's why now things are going to be picking up right this moment on the show. We have so much more lined up for you, and looking forward to it.
Yes, indeed. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Titilayo Onyison.
And I'm Yomi Owokwe. Don't forget, we're streaming live. We already said that before. TVCentertainment.tv and on Facebook. Send in your comments as well on our social media platforms.
Yes, indeed. That hashtag, Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, is really important to us, and it should be to you as well. And of course, at TVC Connect on Facebook Live, you can stream right there as well. For another delicious recipe, we have Chef Karima, and she's going to be joining us.
The chef's going to be joining us in the kitchen with Mary later on. Anyway, we have to move quickly to the rest of the morning's highlights for us today, starting with another musical performance from R&B singer, producer, Koli.
And on tech, we have Ken Dubrisi. Now he's going to be joining Mike to talk about social media advertising for SMEs. Very important.
Now also joining us later on the show is Jackie Odumogu to shed some light on animal cruelty and why this needs to stop.
Yes, indeed. It's a very big issue all over the world, and in Nigeria we decided to take it a little bit more seriously on Wake Up Nigeria. We have also a book chat today. Lydia Emmanuel, very sweet lady. I met her earlier. She's going to be joining us to talk about her book called Catching Grace. Yes, indeed.
Lovely one.
And for our display, we have
Mongol
Akpo Burr. Now she will be here to explain how she uses art to promote environmental preservation.
And then lastly, we'll be joined by three amazing individuals from NLNG. Yes, indeed.
We're going to having a sit down with them to talk about this year's prize, $100,000.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I should pick up my pen.
Honestly.
And do some writing.
And do some writing.
Is there one person that win it?
Of course.
Okay, you definitely talk about it. One person. So I was talking about thunder.
Oh yeah.
I think it was Nikorodu.
Oh, you mean?
So it's lightning, of course, but it sounds better. You know, you can't say lightning fire you.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Thunder sounds
come out with thunder sounds. You know.
Heavier.
So, boy, it was a coconut tree, right?
Yeah.
And lightning, and the tree went up in flames.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So just in corridor.
Okay.
So the rain and all of that.
I'm sure they spiritualized it.
One person's destiny has been released.
Really?
Like one person say that another person goes like, that he missed the person by inches. So different things, boy.
Now, I'm going to switch this now, because there have been a lot of people who have been known to actually go and take shelter under trees in the rain. Now, this is something you should never do. Never. If it is raining, the worst place you can stand is by a pole or by a tree. Because if lightning should strike any of those, it's just gonna, the way lightning is, it just spreads out. Once it gets to the bottom, it spreads out like that.
And the best place to be in is your car.
Apparently.
Because of, the tires and the rubber. The rubber tires. Yeah. If your car should be struck by lightning, the rubber tires, of course, will draw the energy and put it into the ground. It won't get to you. Your car is about the safest place.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Just stick around, stay in the car.
There are some
if
buildings.
It's not flooding,
There are some buildings that have actual lightning. I can't remember what they call it.
Rods.
Lightning rods. Yes. So to sort of prevent it from
And then it goes all the way to the ground.
Exactly.
So people have survived it.
Yeah.
So quite a number of people have actually survived. And something interesting about it is everyone who has survived it usually have some kind of lightning tattoo on their bodies.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's either on their backs or on their legs. So wherever you see somebody with lightning tattoo that looks like something lighter than the skin, just slightly lighter than the skin, the person has been struck by lightning before.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So
like, it
so
always leaves a tattoo.
So they become like Jon Snow and they can be...
So in actual sense...
What if he gave people superpowers? I don't know. I'm just saying.
So you become like Shazam.
Yeah,
Can
like
we just
Shazam.
go to the news before?
Time for us to take a look at the newspaper headlines once again.
Yes, indeed.
And starting with the Punch.
And we have this headline. It says, Cabal targets Osinbajo over actions taken as acting president. It also says Daura's removal, ex-CJN Onohe cited as examples there. And it also says police barricade Sahara reporters, CDHR officers stop protest. Page 13 has more on that. Court hears Obasanjo's son's divorce suit October 2nd. Jigawa 123 withdraws 1 billion naira suit against Lagos. And hairdo, Ekiti varsity student stabs boyfriend to death. Wow, okay. I have this headline right at the top of the paper here. It says CBN puts currency in circulation at 2.2 trillion naira. Evacuation, reps ask Buhari to honor Air Peace boss. I lived on street for months, came back empty, says returnee. Buhari replaces embattled Oyoita, ex-HOS faces EFCC. And finally, governors demand audit of 614 billion naira bailout funds. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
Yeah, The Nation has the headline, $9.6 billion judgment. House summons Malami and Silva. And the ministers to face 17-man panel. And it exposes a deep decay in our governance. Customers to pay more for POS transactions. I'm sure some people will not be happy about that. And the Senate defends 5.5 billion naira official vehicles. And Obasanjo's son yet to serve divorce papers. And finally, 2023 in Ngige, Sage disagree on zoning. That's what we have on the cover of The Nation.
I'm really surprised that divorce suit information is in the papers, you know. It's really surprising. It says here on the cover of The Guardian, police fund tax will hurt investment, experts warn. Say federal government planning to pour water into leaking basket. Lawyers urge firms to challenge obnoxious act. It also says here, it's still pain getting to Apapa after Sanwo-Olu's 100 days promise. That's on the Metro section of The Guardian. I've been unable to serve my wife divorce papers, Obasanjo's son tells court. It says here, Buhari appoints new head of service as Oyoita leaves. Osinbajo signs of end to honeymoon in Aso Rock. Sahara reporters, CDHR offices blocked as police disrupt pro-Shore protests. Activists demand release of detained Ekere, Jalingo, others. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, let's look at the Vanguard. Uproar over 5.5 billion naira for our cars. Insulting, Senate leader says. And adds, criticism of 5.5 billion naira vehicles purchased nonsensical, insulting and mischievous. And some other stories. Afenifere, YCE, others react to Osinbajo's ordeal. And youths protest against Bobrisky. Wow. And police lay siege to CDHR premises, venue of pro-Shore protest. And finally, HOS, the ITA sent on indefinite leave. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
I have the Daily Trust newspaper up next. Buhari fires Oyoita, extends tenure of 7 perm secs. Yemi Esson, now acting HOS, reps may probe extension. Why forces are against Osinbajo, page 14 has more information on that. On insecurity, federal government tasks governors on use of technology. Emir Sanusi backs borders closure. Just below the masthead here, it says PDP BOT leaders meet Atiku in Dubai, strategize for Supreme Court. We're willing to pay 614 billion naira bailout deductions, say the NGF. And finally, reps summon Malami Silva over PNID $9.6 billion contract. That's what we have on the cover of the Daily Trust.
Do we still have time for this day?
No, we have to... Yes, indeed, it does. It does continue. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time for us to take the kitchen segment of the show. Welcome, Chef.
Good morning.
All right. So I want you to help me pronounce your name properly. I don't want to murder the name. Please tell me.
Karimat.
Karimat. Okay,
yes.
Fantastic. Chef Karimat is in the building. Now, we met before, and she did something savory. Today, she's doing something sweet. So what's the name of what you're making today?
I'm actually making chocolate crescent rolls.
Chocolate crescent rolls.
Yes.
Okay, so I can see Yomi's ears pricking up at the use of the word chocolate. Anything chocolate, Yomi is all about it. And I think it's about time for us to go over the ingredients of what you're going to be using today. Making today, rather.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
This, I'll be using flour.
Okay.
Sugar.
Okay.
Salt. This is vegetable oil, pure vegetable oil, cholesterol free.
Okay.
Then this is my chunked chocolate.
Okay.
And there's yeast.
Yeast.
And then
is that yeast is just for baking, yeah? And what's this?
Is my milk for egg washing.
Beautiful. All right. So it feels like a very simple meal to prepare.
Very simple.
All right, but I can also see a lot of measuring spoons.
Yes.
So we have to be very accurate with this today.
That's it.
All right.
You have to be. And then my rolling pin, my pizza wheel.
I have to say that whenever I see simple ingredients and I now see measuring spoons, I think mathematics.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's start the measurements very, very clearly. I'm not sure if we have those ingredients. Let's take the ingredients one more time. That's chocolate, vegetable oil,
yes, salt,
sugar, flour, milk,
and then the yeast.
And yeast. A lot of white ingredients here today. All right, so where are we going to do the mixing? Should we do the mixing in here or do we use a bigger bowl?
I have a bigger bowl.
You have a bigger bowl?
Yes.
All right, so that people can see it very, very clearly, what we're about to do. Can I do the measuring though?
Of course you can.
I can. So what's the first thing I need to do?
Let's go with the flour first.
Flour?
Though we are supposed to start with the yeast.
Okay.
Because I need the yeast to proof in warm water. But
okay.
I don't think we'll be doing that because it's going to take a whole lot of time, like an hour to proof. So I'll just show you how to measure it and we'll go to the mix.
Beautiful. So what do I need for the flour? 1 cup?
1 cup of flour, yes.
1 full cup of flour. So how do I measure the flour? Just normal tipping into the cup?
Yeah.
Or do I level it?
Kind of, not really level. It can be a bit
heaped. Okay. All right, let me use another one to scoop it on top. So it's like the flour heap, like this? All right, beautiful. So just 1 cup?
Just 1 cup of it.
Beautiful. All right, what's next?
Okay. So after this, you can have 1 tablespoon.
1 tablespoon of yeast. Okay. So this yeast, is this something I can get anywhere?
Yeah.
You can get yeast anywhere?
Any bake shop. And there are some shops, yes. And there are some shops, just one. There are some shops that sell provisions and they do have it too.
All right, beautiful.
So anywhere in the market.
What is the yeast? 2 tablespoons?
No, I said we need to dust that so it won't stick to the yes.
Okay, fantastic. Got it? All right, so far 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of yeast. What's next?
1 tablespoon of sugar.
1 tablespoon of sugar. I heard something about sugar and yeast. Is it that it makes it react faster or slower?
Yes. Yeast, it works better when it's in with sweetened objects. It helps it activate faster.
Fantastic. So only 1
tablespoon of it.
Really?
Yes. Because what we are doing, it's pastry, so we don't need too much sugar.
1 spoon of sugar, really? Okay.
We don't need too much sugar.
What's next?
Then the salt, just a pinch of salt. So you can use, use this.
1/3 of a teaspoon of salt.
Just have it on the side, so
On
it won't
the
be going
side.
on the yeast. Yes.
Beautiful.
Because once your salt touches the yeast,
Now-
it deactivates it.
Oh, salt on yeast deactivates it.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. But we have to take a quick break now. Wake Up Nigeria Kitchen is all about showing you exactly what to do. So make sure you stay close and learn this with me. We're making chocolate crescent rolls, and we'll be back.
Personally, I've had an issue with advertising, you know. There are a few times when I wanted to advertise on social media, and it was kind of hard to find my way around. I still found my way around, but then I noticed with some people that there are better ways to advertise if you know what to do. Now, today on our tech segment, we're talking about how SMEs can use online advertising to make their business grow. And I have a renowned social media consultant and also a traffic specialist in the house, Ken Ndubisi. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
I like that. Paid traffic specialist. That's wonderful, wonderful. We have a lot of specializations now in tech, and this is quite very good. So let's go straight to it. Advertising. Now, this is something that a number of people would want to do. I've had people who have come up to me and say, oh, hey, I want to advertise. I don't know how to do it. I've tried to boost a post, sponsor a post, and all of that. It's kind of a labyrinth. It's not so easy for people to grab a hold of. What does advertising entail on social media, and why should SMEs, you know, use advertising on social media?
Okay, so it all starts from the business model, first of all, right? So I'm just going to run through like the business model of the social media platforms that we currently use: Facebook, Instagram, and the rest.
Okay.
So when it comes to traffic, there's basically two types of traffic, right? There's organic traffic, and then there's paid traffic.
Okay.
Organic traffic simply refers to like traffic that you get when you make a post. As you just make a post, it simply means that you're not paying money for the traffic, right?
True.
That's what organic means.
Okay.
And paid traffic, on the other hand, is traffic that you get by actually paying money for adverts. Now, how do these social media platforms actually make money? They make money through revenue gained from ads, right? So the more people that are on the platform, they are able to charge, you know, advertisers to actually put ads, and then that's how they make their money.
Okay.
Right? So organic reach technically is dying across all platforms. We've seen it happen on Facebook. It started on Facebook. You know, back then there was a time that if you had like 1 million fans on Facebook, you could reach like 100,000 of them. Like in 2019, you can't do that. Like,
this is intentional, right?
Yes.
From the owners of social media.
Yes, of course.
They cut your reach.
Of course.
Why so? Because they want to make money.
Of course, they have to make money. So you see, even when you make a post, you're going to see something like they're going to ask you, this post is performing better than the others.
Than the others, exactly.
Yeah. So everybody sees that. They know what they're doing, and they're lowering your organic reach. The same thing is happening right now. It's beginning to happen on Instagram. You see people with millions of followers. They're getting like 1,000 likes or just 10,000 likes. And you wonder, like, where are all the other followers going?
Why don't they see this post and all of that? So this is intentional now. Wow, that's cool. So it was what we're saying now is that advertising is something that everybody has to get the reach that you require. You have to get into paid advertising.
Of course.
How do you go about it?
Of course. So the first thing you need to understand before you even run any kind of adverts is you need to be clear on the objective of the adverts that you're trying to run. Now, most SMEs have this problem. Like, they think that adverts is just something you just do whenever you have like a discount sale or you just have a promo going. No, you need to have a strategy behind running the adverts, right? So if you don't have a strategy, it's going to be very hard for you. And you're going to think that your adverts are not working, whereas it's simply a matter of not having the right strategy down, and you don't know what you're doing, and you're just spending money trying to get results that you can't even define, right? So that's the biggest problem that SMEs have.
All right. So now, when you pay for this kind of adverts, does it affect your organic growth?
I wouldn't say affects. It's more of complements it, right? Yeah. So it complements your organic growth, right? When you're paying for traffic, you're simply telling the platforms that, okay, I already have this content and it's kind of doing well, but I simply want it to reach more people who are interested in this kind of stuff. And with Facebook and Instagram, there are a lot of tools out there, like advanced stuff, you know, that we can't even cover in one day. There's a lot of stuff that you can actually do to target people that are actually interested in your brand, in your business, or your service.
Targeting. Now, that's somewhere where a lot of people normally miss it. They just advertise and put to a general audience. We'll talk about targeting because this is like a series. We'll talk about targeting later on. But like you were saying, when you want to, it complements your organic growth when you pay for these things. And as it stands now, you have to do it.
Of course.
Everybody has to do it.
I mean, that's basically where the market is being driven to now. You know, there's some few brands that are able to, you know, just grow off organic traffic.
Okay.
And most of them, you know, they are doing really some sketchy stuff, and some just have to put out, you know, outrageous and provocative content. But for the average business person, for the average small business owner, you need to actually run promotions.
Now, let's get into the part of influencing, where you have a number of people, because of maybe the reach they have or the number of followers they have, brands come to them. Now, are we saying that a brand is better served paying or putting up a sponsored post than going to an influencer with such a number of followers?
So I've had this conversation a lot of times, and people ask me, you know, should I run ads or should I use influencers? Yeah, I mean, you know, it still comes down to strategy again, right? If you have a business, you need to have a strategy. So influencers work, let's be honest, right? There was a time I would have said, okay, don't use, just run ads, right? But influencers work, but you need to have a strategy in place. If you're using the influencer strategy, you need to have the advert strategy to back it up. So it's not like you're just going to do one without the other. Right?
Okay,
if
so
you
they
want
have
to see
to go
best
pari
results,
passu, use both of them
you have
together.
to use both of them. Yes.
And then, okay, so now you mentioned a specific kind of, let's get into a bit of targeted, you know, advertising and marketing. How do people target adverts? What's the best way? How do they go about it? Is this something, like now, you are somebody, where do you come in? Let's put it that way. Where do you come into the equation of advertising and helping people make better sales or whatever from the advertising? Okay.
Not to go too technical, but when it comes to targeting, there are different types of targeting of audiences that you can use. First one is the target audience. That's basically where Facebook or Instagram allows you to target people based on certain criteria. So you can target people based on their interests, the kind of content they engage with online. So let's say, for example, if you are a Chelsea fan, for example, and you know most of your posts, you like posts related to Chelsea, and they see that your audience are mostly Chelsea users. If someone wants to advertise a product and they want to target it to sports lovers, you're going to fall into that audience, right? So that's the target audience.
That's the target
Then
audience.
there's also something called a custom audience. So a custom audience is as an audience of people that have already engaged with your posts in the past. So maybe they visited your Instagram page, your Facebook page, maybe they have liked your videos, or someone has shared your video and they've seen it. That's a custom audience. And then there's also another technology called a lookalike audience. Audience. So this is very interesting. You know, Facebook has over like billions of users, right? So Facebook says, right now you have a custom audience of people that have already engaged with you. Why don't you come, you give us that audience, and then we're going to go out, look into our large network of users, and we're going to give you a free audience of people that we already know, based on our technology and all, that are interested in whatever you have to talk about, right? So these are different targeting methods, and many people don't use it, right?
Yeah, true, because I'm just hearing about this the first time. Now, so let's say I have this particular content, and I want to, what's the best way to go about it? Do I sponsor a post by myself, or do I get to someone like you and say, okay, can you offer me this service? Can you do this for me? How does it work? What's the best way to make it work?
So the first thing you want to do, if you're just starting out, right, you need to figure out how to do it yourself, right?
You need to figure out how to do it yourself?
Yes, because...
And that's what you teach people, how to do it themselves?
Yes, of course.
Okay, good.
Of course, because let's be honest, it gets pretty expensive if you decide to use someone else to do it. Yeah, someone that knows what he's doing, right? Many people may claim to know what they're doing, but in reality, they don't.
How do you know who knows what he or she is doing?
Exactly. That's why you need to learn it first. You need to know some of the basics, like all these things I'm talking about now. You need to have an understanding of how it works, so that if you're talking with someone that says he's a professional, the person should have an idea.
Wonderful,
what
Ken.
he's talking about.
We'll still be with Ken. We'll have about 2 or 3 more episodes. I will still be talking about advertising and how to make the best from advertising. Thank you very much. We'll still get to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. I hope you've got to learn something there. We have another performance coming up for you. Mary is about to tell us what we have.
Thank you so much, Mike. All right, time for us to do some jiggy dance with Coley. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So, Coley, it's actually a pleasure. I know you're someone that many would describe as an underground artist. You've worked with so many top artists, and one wonders how you've come this far and still remained under the radar. What has it been like for you, the experience so far?
Well, it's been an amazing experience working with these people, but, you know, the music or entertainment industry generally, it's about time. When it's your time, people will know you. So I just enjoy working with all these people, all these great minds, and I consider it a learning process. You understand? So when it's Coley time, everybody will know.
Fantastic. I like that. So you have a song with Peruzzi, you have a song with Praise, you have a song with Mayokun.
Yeah.
I think that's the most recent one.
Yeah, that's the most recent one.
Yeah. So what is it like working with most of these popular artists, as we will call them?
Well, like I said earlier, right, it's more of a learning process for me. So I like the experience it gives me. I like the exposure. I like the network. So it's just basically growth for me, and I enjoyed the entire process.
All right. So 3 years in the music industry. For some people, 3 years is a long time. For some people, you're still a baby in the industry.
I like the baby part. I like the baby part.
Okay, so moving on, I'm sure you have big plans for yourself, for your future, for the brand called Koli.
Yeah.
What are those plans?
Well, I plan on taking my music like to the peak, like to the highest level I can get to before I get old, right? So yeah, basically, you all just watch out for Koli, and that's it. Basically.
All right. So what are you performing for us this morning?
Hadiza. It's my latest single.
Okay,
yeah.
that's the song featuring Mayokun, isn't it?
Definitely.
Fantastic. Take it away.
Okay.
Welcome back. Now I have here with me Jackie Idimogu, an Imo State-born Nollywood actor and producer. She's also a passionate dog lover and author of Dogs, Children book. She often referred to as an animal enthusiast who created My Dog and I TV. And she was just telling me just now that she's gotten a lot of backlash and people are saying, don't you have other things to talk about? Don't you have other things to be passionate about? Why dogs? Why animals?
Yeah.
So talk to us.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Good to have you join us on the show. I like your spirit. You're very...
oh, yes. The fire is
effervescent. You just come in and everybody just notices. And,
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, the discussion today is about the animal cruelty march that is happening on the 28th of September, which is next week Saturday. It's a march against animal cruelty in Nigeria. Now, this is the first of its kind. It's the first time in Nigerian history that people are coming out to march for animal rights. And it's a big deal. Yeah,
it's a big deal because it's one of the things that I've always wondered, even on social media, people are saying, why are we focused on animal cruelty? We have so many other issues in the country,
and you know what
especially
I say to
people.
them?
And what do you say to them?
I say to them that everybody has a right to choose what to fight for. I have chosen to fight for my passion. My passion is animals. I love animals, and I noticed that the animal laws in Nigeria have not been enforced. There are laws in place. There are laws in place, but they are dormant. They are not being used. So what we are trying to achieve with this march is to enlighten the public that there are animal laws in place, and we want them to be working like any other criminal law.
Like any other criminal law.
Yes.
Now, I mean, my homeboy here, we've had him on the show several times talking about dogs, and several dogs that you brought on the show. Who's this?
This is Rose.
Rose. Yeah. Now, we're talking about animal cruelty. You love dogs, and we've had you on the show several times, and I've seen the way that you deal with dogs. And a lot of people who own dogs don't treat dogs like that. Some of them lock them up in cages. Some don't treat them well at all. What would you like to say regarding this animal cruelty laws that we have in Nigeria that people are saying is not working?
Okay, what I will say is this. First of all, when you define cruelty, it's just like you are deriving pleasure in inflicting suffering on something. You now say, or not seeing somebody suffering and not being able to say anything, or there's inaction for seeing suffering. So when you now say animal cruelty, now you see, you find pleasure in inflicting suffering on animal, or you are not even saying anything at all. You are still the same thing, inflicting suffering on animals if you are not talking. So, no, so this animal cruelty, when you define empathy among we human beings, the way we see each other, it all starts from the way we see our animals.
Right.
Yes. So now, if you derive pleasure in taking care of our animals, passively, it's a reflection on how we treat
other human beings.
Human beings. So we're not saying animal rights, animal cruelty, and the country. It has a lot.
Yeah. So how do we then make this a culture, treating animals well? Because even sometimes, I mean, I'm driving in my car, I see maybe they put animals in a truck and they just load them up in a funny way. And sometimes those animals are so many that they're not even able to move or breathe and things like that. So you see stuff like that. So it's almost like it's a culture where we don't pay attention to them because we don't think that they're important. They can't speak. So there's nobody that can speak up for them. So how do we change that culture?
I like the fact that you use the word that they can't speak. So we have decided to speak for them. We are trying to enact a change where animals are being treated fairly in this country, because Nigerians act like animals don't care. They don't matter because they are not, they almost treat them like inanimate things, you understand? So I believe that with this march, we'll be able to educate the public to, know how to treat these animals. And even what you said, the packing of the animals in a very inhumane way, that is totally wrong and against the law. It is actually against the law, but nobody's looking at them. Nobody's picking up on it because they are animals.
Yeah. So apart from sensitizing the general public, which I think is important, and people are watching us now and they're saying, okay, I should treat my dogs better. I shouldn't just slap the dog. And growing up, look, the truth is that's how we all grew up. So they'll say if you want to train a dog, you have to flog it and beat it to make it wicked, so that when it sees strangers, so we all knew that. Like they taught us that growing up. So now people are getting sensitized. People are hearing about this. How about the people that matter? The people in positions of authority, people that can do things about this. What do you want to say to them?
Well, I'd love to say to them that there's a community of an animal lovers community that is growing up, that is rising up in Nigeria, and we are growing in number, and we are planning to have a structured, coming together, yes, and give it a good name. So I'm pleading with the government, with this forum, to please look at the animal laws. It needs to be reformed and also enforced. Yes. Now,
so this myth of beating dogs to make them wicked, is it true or false?
Thank God you said myth. You get it is false. You get,
so no matter how you beat the dog, it's not going to get suddenly aggressive.
No. The dog is not going to be aggressive. You are just taking the rights of the dog away from him. So the dog loses his own being and consciousness, and then it affects them mentally.
Wow.
So it does.
Wow. Okay, so Jackie, so the march is taking place when?
On the 28th of September, next week Saturday.
Next week Saturday.
Yes.
All right. So of course, anyone who wants to participate,
please,
they can probably go on your Instagram page and see the details there.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jackie,
you very
for
much.
joining us this morning. And we're heading over to the kitchen now, where TT is on standby with Karimat.
All right, fantastic. Welcome back to the kitchen. Now, if you missed it earlier, we have something very tasty we're putting together. Thank you so much, Chef, for showing us this. I've been trying to open this since I don't know, it's baffling me. Not be plastic, please. All right. So these are chocolate rolls, right? Crescent rolls.
Yes.
And hey, we have done quite a bit so far. Let's give people a little rundown of our ingredients, though. Flour,
oil, sugar, milk, chocolate, salt, and then yeast.
All right. So we put in, if I can remember, 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of sugar, a pinch or a third a teaspoon of salt,
and 1 tablespoon of yeast.
And 1 tablespoon of yeast. Fantastic. So what's the next thing to do now?
Now we use our warm water.
Okay. When you say warm water, what do you mean?
We need to mix this now. So for it to activate faster, we need to use the warm water. No, we can use cold water as well, but it needs to take a longer time to prove.
So that means I should mix hot water with tepid water, yeah? Or
if you have your lukewarm water, you are good to go.
all right, fantastic.
No, we have
So
one.
this is
Yeah.
half a cup, or is it, yeah, half a cup?
No, it's
a
quarter cup. Yes.
Quarter cup of warm water. Quarter cup of warm water. And what's next?
You let your water go in gradually, because you don't want it too soft, and we don't want it too strong.
All right.
To just be in between.
All right, so just a little, all right? And then
So
we begin to turn it. All right.
There's this thing, the water might not be enough,
Let me
but it's
do
better
this
you use it
little by
little by little, so
Let
it
me
won't be
do
soggy.
this, but I can see that we've already got some pre-prepared flour on the table
yes.
here
We have some more
that
water for
had
you.
already been mixed with warm water. So you can continue with that while I do this.
You can
All right?
add more to it, but
Okay.
gradually now.
Little by little.
Yes.
All right. That's enough, yeah?
It's too much.
It's too much? Oh my gosh.
It's a little.
Okay, no problem.
We can
All
use the
right.
flour to balance it up later, Cha.
So I can see. So how long has this been resting for?
An hour.
An hour. Okay, fantastic.
So once you have it out, all you just need is just to knead it a little bit more. So
Can you show us the kneading process a little? Just a
okay,
little.
let me just go back
to the beginning.
It's just
Okay.
because it has the bean proof. It has some hair in it, so we need to make the egg come out a little.
Okay.
Only if you don't want it to have, if you don't want it to be gluten free, that's when you don't have to knead for long. But I like it best when it's like that because it has this stretchy feels.
So
like
after 1 hour, it begins to stretch.
while you are kneading,
Yeah.
you feel.
So should
you
I
have to
begin
use-
kneading
yes, you
now?
have to knead from that plate now.
All right, now I
Knead
have
it
to
together,
knead with
yes.
my fingers.
With your fingers right now.
All right.
So
have
bring
to get
them
in there.
together.
Okay, so I saw that you put flour on the table. Why
yes,
did you put flour
yes,
on the table?
yes. Because we don't want it sticking to the table for easy rolling.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so
is there a special technique for rolling? Or
No.
is it just, you just press it?
Just press it down.
Okay.
Press it out.
All right. So is that exactly the same measurement of what I have here? Because I feel like my flour is less than yours.
No, it's not the same measurements.
What
This
measurement do you have there?
I mixed for a batch of 16 thereabout.
Okay.
So, but what you have there is for 8.
Okay,
I think so. So.
All right. So if you're just tuning in, we're making
Make them all come
chocolate.
together.
Yeah, no problem. I got it. I got it. I'm learning. All right, so chocolate crescent rolls is what we're making today. And with a combination of flour, yeast, sugar, salt, and warm water, we're about to roll out. Well, she is rolling out her flour already. How many pieces are you going to cut this into?
I should get 8 or so.
All right, fantastic. Beautiful. Now we have to go to a quick break now. She's going to cut out those pieces and put in some chocolate. Yeah, can't wait. Hello and good morning. Now you're still here with us because you're just amazing and you deserve nothing but the best that we have to be.
Yes, indeed. Now the next 45 minutes, 2 hours has gone by already, and the next 45 minutes promises to be even more interesting. My name is Yomi Obi.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinso. Please watch us live, tvcentertainment.tv, and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Now send in your comments on our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Of course.
And use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed. Now, we have this amazing app that you need to see. You need to download it as well. Android, iOS, no matter what device you're using, you can watch us from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, so for a book chat coming up shortly, Lydia Emmanuel will be joining us for a chat. Now, the title of her book is Catching Grace. I'd like to catch some grace for me this weekend.
Everybody needs some of that. And for art display, we have Mongol Aquabur here to showcase some of her amazing works. And she'll explain her use of art to promote environmental preservation.
And finally, we're going to be joined by three guys from the NLNG. That's the prize in literature. And they're going to be talking to us about the plans for this year.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of plans, man, the year is flying. Oh, how many people have actually?
Why do you have a napkin on?
Yeah, because I have flour on my hands, and I don't want the flour to stain my clothes.
All right.
I was enjoying kneading that dough. It was just very therapeutic. I don't know. It was just, yeah, it just felt like, I don't know, it was just interesting, kneading dough.
You know, they say sometimes when you want to let go of whatever is bothering you, you should focus on putting the pressure on something. Some people do boxing just to let out. So it's like you can imagine the person who annoyed you with all your strength, instead of physically assaulting the person. Or you punch your pillows.
Oh, boy.
Or you scream.
I should
Punching
do that.
of pillows.
Or scream. There's some people that have a scream corner or a scream pillow. Some people use stress balls.
Yeah, you put your face in the pillow and scream?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that one is...
Makes sense, but I agree. I agree with what you said.
Advice for those with anger
the
issues.
punching and all that, because I know some people that have angrily maybe punch a wall or something and injure themselves and all of that.
Please don't punch a wall.
It's better than punching somebody now.
Yeah.
Well, it's
better.
Don't punch a wall.
It's better. so like, if somebody,
you're gonna break something.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've seen it. I've seen it happen where somebody like was so angry and all that and took it out on an inanimate object, which is cool for me. Seriously, because some people are holding quite a lot, and releasing it on somebody is not the best.
If you are to believe cartoons, you know, punching that inanimate object is a problem.
and if somebody is angry, you know, don't stand in their way.
Yeah, just
if they're trying to leave the house, just let them go.
Allow them. in fact, lock the door after.
Yeah.
Jokes apart, so lock the door.
Just open the door. Allow the guy. Just allow him go. Just let him.
He asked a boyfriend for 2.5 to make her hair, and he said no, and an argument ensued, and she stabbed him. And never passed on.
Oh my gosh.
Just so small.
These are the kind of things we get in the news. Yomi, please, take the floor. Welcome again. It's still Wake Up Nigeria, and it's time for our book chat of the week. Believe me, I've been looking forward to this moment since Tuesday, like 48 hours now, and it's such a pleasure to have this going on now. I have here with me the author of the book Catching Grace, Lydia Emmanuel. She's going to be talking to us about a book this morning. Welcome to the show, Lydia.
Thank you. Good morning.
I feel like I should thank you for this book. Very interesting. I had a good time reading it. However, I would like you to tell me what inspired the content of this book.
A few years ago, I began to, write this book when I realized that a lot of women who had an history of sexual abuse, began to come my way. Many of them were mentees, proteges, friends, and I sort of had a listening ear, so they felt they could confide in me, and then they began to share their stories, and this sort of birthed a burden inside of me to help ladies like that. And then the story came up. It just started as a devotional, something to just, encourage them on their journey to, recovering from, the hurt, the pain. And then the story started, and before I knew it, here we are.
It started with you just scribbling?
Yeah, just scribbling. So it was like a picture. Okay, so let me put it this way. When you listen to these stories, it does something to you. It's painful. Those stories are born from a place of pain, hurts. Some of them loss of identity because of what has been done to them. And I sort of could empathize and step into their shoes. Maybe that was why they could, talk to me. And so that started the story in my, in my head, in my heart. Sometimes it was heart-wrenching for me. There were times when I cried writing the book, and it's all fiction. Believe me.
I'm finding that hard to believe. I could have sworn you're telling your story. That's how real and original it is. Now, for those watching and they're wondering, oh, you're waxing eloquent on this story, tell us about Catching Grace in, I know it can be hard, especially as the author, but in a few words, just tell us about Catching Grace.
Okay, so Catching Grace is basically a story about Grace, a young girl who had dreams, intelligent, brilliant girl who had dreams and then trusted in the system, the family structure around her, only to have that dashed, you know, by a father. She was raped by a father. I don't want to give you spoilers, but, you know, she was raped by a father, and her life went downhill from there. You know, she got into sex trade, got into a lot of things that she would never have thought, you know, her life was going to go through, you know. And thank God for hope. She eventually found hope and was restored. And this, for me, is very relatable because I have an outreach to sex workers, you know, and victims of sex trade. And many of them have dreams. You know, many of them started with dreams of wanting to be a doctor, a nurse, you know, and then all of a sudden life happened. Yes, and getting them back to the place where they can actually bring those dreams to life is something I'm passionate about. So this book connected to me that way. And from the reviews I've had so far, from everyone who read this book, they felt like Grace in the book was speaking to them.
Yes.
Yes, it was speaking to them. And that's because I wrote from a place of relatable experiences around me.
There were a lot of twists and turns. Say, for example, she trying to find her way, falling back, trying to find her way, falling back. I experienced with Clem, for example. It was a miracle she being able to get out of that house that day. And when you read the book, especially when she finally started finding herself again, you feel this will I call it this inspiration?
Yes.
That no matter where you find yourself,
Yes.
you can find your way out.
Yes, yes, very important. I say no matter where you are in life, as long as you don't lose that hope, no matter how little it is, you know, that little glimpse of hope, that determination, that the dreams you once had could come true, it would happen. It takes that determination to fight through the challenges of life. We all go through them anyway, but it's important to keep that inside. You know, the external might not encourage that, people might not encourage that, but when you have that determination, just hold on to it. It's very hard. Sometimes it looks, you know, very hard to hold on to, but please hold on to it. One day you'll find someone who would speak to that hope. One day a situation, an opportunity will come that would speak to that hope. When you still have it, it can connect and you'll find a way out.
Fantastic. So Lydia, for those watching now, who would you recommend this book for?
This is to every woman and even men, because men also go through sexual abuse. You'll be surprised. I've had, you know, testimonies of that. You know, people talk to me about that. But this is to everyone who has gone through an history of abuse. You've gone through pain, hurt, parental neglect. You know, you've been disappointed by the very people that you thought were going to. Yes, yes. This is for you. And I'm saying there is hope. You know, there is hope. I've seen sex workers, you know, we call them prostitutes. I've seen them rehabilitated, get their dreams back, start businesses, own their own dreams. As in, it's amazing. This is for you.
You know what I'm taking from this book?
Okay.
Forgiveness. How forgiveness can heal you before you even heal those around you, especially those who have offended you. Thank you so much for this, Lydia Emmanuel.
Thank you.
You totally made my week with this book, and I'm not kidding. Thank you so much.
Very much.
All right, so that's about it for the book chat today. We're moving on, and I know for sure that Titi is on standby right now.
Thank you so much, Mary. Now, that particular book, I'm going to be lending that book from you sometime soon. We're still in an artsy mood today on Wake Up Nigeria. Ngoho Akpobo is here, and she's an artist that works mostly with charcoal and pastel on toned paper, apparently. Now, she also works with newspaper and fabric pieces as a way to reduce waste in the environment. And I know that there are a lot of messages in your pieces. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
All right, so what's the short form of your name? Ngo? Ngoho. That's the short form. Ngoho.
There's no short.
All right, then now I was really interested when I heard that you had the mindset of using your work to improve on the environment. Can you tell us how that began?
Okay, so this move to protect the environment came from a mask challenge we had on Instagram sometime this year in April.
Okay.
It was World Earth Day, and they said we should get creative with our masks. Okay. So I did, first of all, Yes, I'm fascinated by gas masks. So I did this first piece.
Okay.
Just based on, like I like how they look, I like the aesthetic. And then this came up and do a mask. So I was like, okay, good. I now started to research and I realized masks are used to protect yourself from bad air and bad energy.
Okay.
So from this other piece here, you can see there's a leaf dying there. So if a leaf is dying, what's happening to our insides? So it just got me thinking, like, we aren't doing enough for the environment. Yes.
So you mentioned a leaf. Can you help us lift that one up? Yeah. So when you say a leaf dying, you're saying basically how toxic the air is actually making the leaf die.
Yes.
And you're saying that those same toxins are actually affecting our insides if we don't have a mask on.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So we're talking about the environment. We're talking about the harmful gases that are in the air these days because of technology, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? So you must have done a lot more research on this.
Yes.
Before you could put these together. But what sort of medium do you use for your work?
I like to work on toned paper. And paper that isn't white.
Okay.
And mostly black paper. And I use white charcoal on toned paper.
Okay, white charcoal. I actually thought it was just chalk.
It's white charcoal.
Okay.
So it's like reverse drawing. It's not like pencil on white. It's now white on black, like negative.
Is it because it has a particular effect you like?
Yes, I like the way it makes my work look kind of dark.
Okay.
Yes.
But that word dark, you know, there are a lot of messages when you have a dark background in a piece. You know, I do feel like maybe something really emotional pushed you in that direction. Do you want to share?
Yeah, I think at this point in Nigeria, we're experiencing dystopia. Like there's a lot of bad air, like the government and stuff like that. So I just try to put that in my art. And a lot of people there's a lot of depression and toxicity.
When did you start this exactly? A year, 2 years? How long ago?
I started fully when I moved here to Lagos last year.
Okay.
So I've been doing it. I've exhibited. I've just had one exhibition, and I have one more exhibition at the end of the month.
Okay, at the end of the month. So you must have loads of pieces just like this. But what has the response been to your work so far?
Well, I've been getting great feedback. Like, it's making me want to create more because people can relate to my work. I like the fact that people can relate to it. And I like the fact that people can see my expression as well. Yeah.
I can also see you have one on your shirt.
Yes.
But this isn't as dark as what we have here.
No, this is for the African woman. So it's called Neo Chic.
Neo Chic.
Neo Chic.
Neo Chic. All right then. But before we move on to Neo Chic, let's talk just a little bit about this particular piece. I want to just lift it up and hold it like this. Can you tell me a bit about this?
Okay, so I have been fascinated with sacred geometry. There's geometry and there's sacred geometry.
Okay.
So this symbol is the symbol of healing in sacred geometry, but based on Judaism.
Okay.
Yeah, so it just depicts healing in the process. Like, it keeps happening.
Okay.
Healing keeps happening throughout life. And it happens from inside out.
Okay, so that's a woman there.
Yes, that's a woman.
Who is that woman?
Black woman.
A black woman?
Yes.
I feel like that woman has a name. Who needed healing, and who are you thinking about when you were doing this
I think
piece?
Personally, I need to heal from certain things that have happened to me. And I feel like everyone heals. So it's not just about me.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. Does it take very long to put a piece like this together?
Not too long.
Not too long?
No.
All right then. I have to say a big thank you to you for
so
coming
much.
to show us these pieces. And you said you were going to be showcasing
at
very
the
soon?
Linux Mall in Lekki Phase 1.
All right, beautiful.
At the end of the month.
Beautiful. I can't wait to see more pieces, but we have to go to a quick break now. Thank you so much once again. Wake Up Nigeria continues after this.
Now, from the prestigious NLNG Prize for Literature, which is an annual event, I have some special guests with me. of course, a member of the advisory board and also a representative of one of the finalists and one of the authors as well. First, I've got Professor Ben Elugbe, who's a professor emeritus from the University of Ibadan, joining us this morning. He's representing the advisory board of the NLNG Literature Prize. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, sir. And I've got Inajite Efemoye, who's a publisher of one of the shortlisted books, Mystery at Ebenezer Lodge by Duni Olatunde. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And finally, one of the authors of one of the shortlisted books called Boom Boom, Jude Idada, is joining us this morning as well. Thank you for coming to the studio to join us. Now, the NLNG Prize, Literature Prize, has been on for a long time, and it's brought a lot of great authors to the limelight. And this is, it's amazing. And this year is special. So talk to us about this year and the work that you have been doing with the advisory board, sir.
Well, the advisory board manages the prize. For example, we decide when we want to advertise. We decide who we choose, the judges, because you need judges. And we also work out the timetable, which is usually a year in frame. And of course, we relate to the owners of the prize. For example, we don't choose the date when the final winner will be presented to the public. We don't do that because there are things relating to what NLNG does, relating to when they first sent their first load of gas, natural gas abroad and things like that. Those ones don't concern us. But we relate to them in terms of time. We then move when we have the judges in place. We tell them what we want. There are usually 3 judges with a chairman. And then we get them to keep working in the background.
Yeah, and of course, you know, eventually it all arrives at the major event, which is usually once a year when the announcement for the winners.
Like what will happen on October the 11th?
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Now, Inajite, you are the publisher of this really interesting book, Mystery at Ebenezer Lodge. Did you advise Duni to put in the book as one of the entries, or but you thought that this was just a fantastic book that you needed to win the prize?
Yeah, I mean, we put all our authors forward for prizes when they happen. So for the children's book prize this year, we sent quite a number of books that we've published, and we're happy to find out that Duni's book was longlisted and then shortlisted for the prize.
Okay, so there's a long list and then a short
list.
A short
list,
wow, that's absolutely amazing. Now, Jude, you, of course, you have a published work called Boom Boom. Talk to us about that book.
Well, Boom Boom is an educative, engaging, and empowering and inspiring story about an 8-year-old boy who is fighting or struggling to save the life of his 5-year-old sister who is suffering from sickle cell anemia. So it's a thriller in quote, but goes the ricochets around the issues that surround the childhood, the spirituality of childhood, the playfulness of childhood, and then the future, obviously, of adulthood. What I try to do with the book is shine the light on sickle cell anemia in such a way as to educate people while entertaining them. My hope is that, by and large, people, their opinions about the disease, the way to manage it, the stigma that's associated with it, and how to stop the perpetuation of the genotype is achieved.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, Professor, one of the things that we've noted about the NLNG Prize and how it's grown over the years is that every year you now have more writers being interested in participating. So, of course, this year that has happened as well. The process of judging, I know that you're not a judge, but at least you are part of the advisory board that helps to select the judges.
Yes.
The entire process, how do we ensure that it's seamless and also
incorruptible?
Exactly.
Yes. First of all, we started with people who are Nigerians and experts. But we decided later that just to ensure it properly, we should have what we call an international consultant. So every year, we bring in an international consultant who has seen the short list of 3 and decided who among the 3 he or she thinks is the winner. Our judges also decide who, for them, is the winner. Very often, they land at the same port. They decide on somebody, and the external consultant also
decide on the same person. It happens often.
Yeah, but it's not impossible for there to arise a need to reconcile. And if that happens, we come in
there and then try to create a consensus.
Well, the consensus will have to be with them. We don't enforce anything.
All right. So now, $100,000 is the prize, right? And I want to ask. Well, I know that you're speaking on behalf of Duni, who's the author of the book. Did she tell you what she would do if she got $100,000?
I'm sure she's going to put it. She does a lot of work with children and with education, so I'm sure she's going to put the money into that.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to win?
Well, I just hope the best.
I'm trying to corner you with that
question.
Well,
I hope the best book wins. And by the way, there's another shortlisted writer called Oti Bego, who has The Walls of Benin, but he's not here.
Not here today.
Yeah. And again, there was a 10-year-old Anissa Oneko, Daniel Oneko, who wrote another book, and those are landmarks. So for me, if I did win, just answering the question, to be like what Dune would do.
Yeah,
to
amazing. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. I think we have something special that's going to be happening in the kitchen with you guys, just to round off the show, and you can help. Let's head on over. Okay, let me head on over to the kitchen now, where TT is on standby with the chef.
All right, thank you so much, Yomi. Really interesting discussion there. And we've been really hard at work in the kitchen, I have to say. Thank you so much. This is our finished product. This is our chocolate crescent rolls.
Yes.
All right, so can you give everyone a little breakdown of what exactly we did as quickly as possible?
Just a mixture of sugar, flour, oil, yeast.
Go ahead.
And then milk for egg washing, and a pinch of salt.
All right, and this is our second batch. Whoa. This is the one I made, fresh from the oven.
We have guests.
You're welcome. Oh, you're very welcome to the kitchen. Please step forward. Please step forward. Okay. You're very welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so our chef today has made chocolate crescent rolls, and we would love for you to taste them. Please, if you would have a try.
Just
yes.
Nobody
has chocolate allergies here, I hope. All right.
Just have a taste of that.
Hey.
Oh yeah, right. we're gonna have lots lots waiting for us.
Yes, indeed. Now this is what we do on Wake Up Nigeria. We put together some interesting menus for everyone to taste. So what do you think?
What do you think?
What do you think?
This is really good.
It's yummy.
Yeah.
All right then.
Exactly. Well done, chef.
And the chef is smiling. That's what we want to see. But I do know that while we are chewing on this, we have some music to go along with it.
But as we round off the show, right?
Yes, indeed. A big thank you to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories. Now let's hand it over to our performer for the day.
For your loving, baby girl, I know you get shame. Me have to be a superhero, Superman with the pan boy, girl, I know they react it. Me have to die for your mother. You know I don't craze for your mother. Now why if you tell me to come, I don't mind leave.
No, I don't want my hand to be empty.
So that's amazing. And we are going to be back tomorrow for the Friday edition of the show. Your view is next. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.